10 armed gunmen stormed into Pakistan's busiest airport, the Karachi airport, late last night. Disguised as police guards and armed with rocket launchers, they laid siege to the Karachi airport for over 12 hours. Some within Pakistan were quick to blame India for the strike, but it has now emerged that the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan was behind the audacious attack, and the banned outfit spokesperson has declared that the attack on the Karachi airport is just the beginning.
A daring attack at Karachi International Airport. 10 armed militants lay siege, engaging in a fight with the Pakistani paramilitary forces for close to 12 hours. But even before the operation was over, one of the Pakistani rangers claimed that weapons recovered from the militants were of Indian make. Some in Pakistan even went ahead and blamed the attack was the handiwork of RAW. JUD Chief and 2611 mastermind, who's being sheltered by Pakistan, even blamed the Narendra Modi government for orchestrating the attack. JUD declared on Twitter that the Karachi siege was Modi's plan against Pakistan and a direct response to needless appeasement of the new Hindutva government. The bizarre allegation came under sharp attack from all quarters. Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has claimed responsibility for the attack, saying it was an act of revenge for the death of its leader Hakimullah Masood. Nawaz Sharif came back to power on the promise of talking to the Taliban. But maybe now the time has come to launch a full-blown offensive. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
The terror monster is stinging its master. Is it time for Nawaz Sharif to launch an all-out assault against all forms of terrorists and to stop soft peddling? Joining us on the center stage face-off this evening, I want to begin by introducing our guests in Islamabad. Tariq Pirzada is a senior political analyst. Saadia Khan is a leader of the PML Nawaz Sharif's party. With me in the studio, we've got Jaidev Ranade is joining us, and Major General Ashok Mehta is with me in the studio. Jaidev Ranade is a former RAW officer. I want to go across first to Saadia Khan, because Nawaz Sharif, among the electoral promises he made, was that he would talk to the Taliban. He believed that there was a good Taliban, a bad Taliban, a good terrorist and a bad terrorist. But what the attack in Karachi has shown, and several other attacks before this, is that there is no good, there is no bad Taliban. They're just terrorists. Will Nawaz Sharif, ma'am, now finally end his folly and allow the army to go all out and attack the Taliban, all manner of terrorists, or is that too much to expect even after what happened at the Karachi airport?
Thank you so much for inviting me. My dear fellows in India, I'm expecting from your side to do some condolence before the start of this show, or maybe you might forget that because of some hustle and bustle of this preparation. Anyways, it was very unfortunate incident yesterday Pakistan and nation of Pakistan has faced on Karachi airport, and we lost almost 25 plus very precious son of souls, and who were very innocent Pakistani citizens who were performing their duties, and they were brutally killed and martyred in Karachi airport. And as everybody knows that, and as soon as PMLN came into power, and it was our agenda to bring TTP and other militants and working and disturbing law and order in Pakistan, so we brought them on table. It was a prime responsibility to negotiate with them, to discuss with them, to listen to them, and to give our own conditions for peace in region and country, of course.
Ma'am, but are you now prepared to accept that that strategy has backfired and that it is time to end this whole strategy of talking to terrorists? Because India has been insisting from the first day that you cannot talk to terrorists. Pakistan seems to believe, and your government and your leader seems to believe that you can.
Don't believe in agitation. PMLN don't believe in agitation. They are not brutal people. They are not like militants that will go them and fight them and will kill them. Our priority was we should seek some good and some peaceful solution of our issues, militancy.
Is that still the view that you hold, Ms. Khan, or is that view now changing, especially in the light of what happened at the Karachi airport? Do you still believe that the terrorists are actually a bunch of good people? You can talk to them, bring them on the drawing board, speak to them and try and find a solution through talks?
We did not call them good people, but I told you it was our prime responsibility and our priority. It was our policy before coming into power that we'll bring them on a table and we have tried.
No, is that still the policy, or are you now prepared to consider changing that?
We'll see. No. Now we'll see what should be the strategy, strategy in future. And of course, we'll keep all these issues and factors which are we are facing right now, and if we are unable to come on a solution, we'll tackle them the best solution we'll have.
Yes.
And party is working.
You're saying
on
that if in the future, so clearly General Mehta, lessons haven't yet been learned for the representative from Nawaz Sharif's party to declare that no question of talking with the Taliban in the future. She explains and justifies the strategy and says we will look at what needs to be done in the future. Do you think that Pakistan will keep this line, or do you see that line change sometime?
Well, there is a conflict within Pakistan. The conflict is at a philosophical level, that we are victims of terrorism and that our main enemy is India. The existential threat is India. Now, the previous Army Chief, General Qayani, had very clearly stated that it was the internal threat. By internal threat, he meant terrorism.
Now, I'm talking about Nawaz Sharif.
Yeah.
And his resistance to give the army
Rahil Sharif,
clear permission to go out and attack the terrorists.
Rahil Sharif has been insisting, that is the new chief, has been insisting that there should be an all-out offensive.
No, we know that. I'm asking you, will that change? Because from the responses from the spokesperson of Nawaz Sharif's party, there clearly seems to be no understanding just yet that it's time to attack the terrorists. She's still trying to understand what's the best way forward.
I think in this game, finally, the word that will count will be that of the army. And the army has already launched operations in North Waziristan, albeit only from the air. And there have been persistent attacks.
But we have a situation here, Tariq Pirzada, in Pakistan, where the army is now seeking permission from the civilian government to go after the terrorists, and the civilian government so far isn't giving that permission. In fact, we saw rather strange responses from the Pakistani Rangers when they entered the Karachi airport last night. They were almost immediately blaming India. They said that Indian markings have been found on guns, the syringes have Indian markings. It almost seemed, instead of acknowledging the problem that existed and trying to act against it, they were trying to find an India angle, even if none existed. Mr. Pirzada, what's going on?
There is no contradiction in all three things that you mentioned. Well, of course, the Indian-made weapons have been captured, and we are carrying out.
We don't know that. Have you seen those weapons, Mr. Pirzada? Because that isn't known for sure. That's a charge made by some park ranger which wasn't substantiated in the press conference that his senior officers did later. Have you seen those weapons, sir?
May I say, nobody sees. I am not a part of the military or paramilitary.
No, because you're leveling that charge. I'd like you to furnish some proof before you make that charge, sir. How do you know that the syringes were made in India, or that the weapons were made in India? You have no proof, so don't make unsubstantiated allegations, sir.
Would you save some time for me so I can answer your three contradictions? Number one, so I already said that. Then further investigations are taking place to ascertain the exactness whether they were made in India or not. So that is the status of the investigation. Number two, these guys who attacked, they belong to the Fazlullah group, and Fazlullah group has always been backed by India and the Afghan forces in the past.
Where is the evidence?
Number three.
This is the second unsubstantiated charge, Mr. Pirzada.
Not our
when India says that Pakistan is involved in 2611, we give you specific GSM coordinates tracing back to the rooms in Karachi where the operation was being planned from. You are leveling these sweeping charges without providing an iota of evidence, Mr. Pirzada.
You gave us insufficient evidence.
Well, you haven't given any evidence at all, let alone whether it's insufficient. You haven't given any evidence at all, Mr. Pirzada. All you're leveling is the wildest charge I've heard all evening.
I don't want you to sidetrack the issue. Let me come to the third point. The third point is this.
What do you mean when you say sidetrack the issue? You are leveling a charge. I'm asking you for proof. You are unable to deliver any proof, Mr. Pirzada.
I am giving you the proof.
Where is the proof? We'd like to see it.
If you let me. Okay, right now we have not formally indicted India.
Well, you've leveled a charge. There are park rangers. The first thing they did was level a charge against India.
Because they are the source of information.
Well, then let's see that source of information. Let's see that evidence. If that is true, let's see that evidence. Don't level charges when you can't substantiate those, sir.
Evidence tonight, because that is impossible. Do not mislead 1.2 billion people of India, because the Indian people know, they are very savvy people, that what you are saying is unreasonable. I cannot, nobody can produce evidence in 24 hours.
But you can level the charge. One second. I want to bring in Jaidev Ranade. You can level a charge in 24 seconds, but you can't provide proof in 24 hours. How do you respond to what our guest in Pakistan is saying tonight, Mr. Ranade?
Wow. You are adjudicating now on this issue.
Mr. Ranade.
Well, I'd like to make 3 quick points.
Sir.
The first is that the attack on Karachi airport, the dusk to dawn attack, was in fact unprecedented in its intensity, and I think the large number of civilians who have been killed is something that would anger the people, not only in Karachi but even the rest of Pakistan, because they did expect better security at a place like an airport, which is such an important transport hub, one of the most busy airports in Pakistan. The second, to in fact take on, go on to the points that Mr. Pirzada made, JUD Chief, who is also the head of the LET, Hafiz Saeed, was the first, shall I say, populist figure, popular terrorist figure in Pakistan to have blamed India for this attack. Of course, the Rangers had made some initial comments, but he was quickly corrected, or at least a claim was made by the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan. And the third point I would make is that Pakistan is now beginning to feel the sting of policy that it initiated, and if we link it with what's happening in Syria, I think there's more to come, which they need to take.
Sadia Khan, what then is the reluctance to go after the Taliban? If your Army Chief General
I was about to
Sharif,
answer that part, and you took the turn away from me.
I'm just coming to you, Mr. Pirzada. I want to understand from the member from Nawaz Sharif's party, why is the Pakistani Prime Minister
please
not giving permission to the Pak Army Chief to launch an all-out assault against the Pakistani Taliban? Why is it that we are seeing Hafiz Saeed going about blaming Narendra Modi and India for what happened? That is absolutely ridiculous. Mr. Pirzada has given no evidence. We're seeing Hafiz Saeed make these sort of comments. He's not acted against. Why not act against the terrorists, Ms. Khan?
One thing is very important. Hafiz Saeed is not voice of Pakistan nation. Nobody likes him in Pakistan, and he is not hero in Pakistan. Even kids and families doesn't know his name. Although Indian media have taken his name in very vibrant channels, and we can listen frequently from you people. And the second thing is, PMLN government or Mir Nawaz Sharif is not reluctant for operation, but of course we have to take certain decisions. We have to involve our army in that. We have to involve law enforcement agencies in that, other political parties. With all those alliance, we have to go on a decision-making process. And but should I say, like, it will not be India or any other neighboring country who will endorse us for doing operation against Taliban and any other militant group, because we are wise enough and kind enough to take a wise decision for these operations in Pakistan. And of course we are very much concerned about our borders, militancy inside country, insurgencies we are facing, our people are dying, we very much love our people, we very much love our nation, our martyrs, their families who are suffering, and definitely will take a wise decision. Will not go unadvised by other countries and neighboring countries.
No, it's not about taking advice from India, General Mehta. It's about Pakistan understanding what's in its own interest. And so far they don't seem to understand that it's in their interest to go after all terrorists.
That's the point I was trying to make earlier, that Pakistan has to realize that the main challenge facing the country is internal, and that internal threat has to be faced squarely. A national security cell was established 2 months ago under the aegis of the National Security Advisor Sartaj Aziz. All security agencies were meant to operate under that. Unfortunately, the civilian side of the house and the army are not on the same page, because the civilian
and they are on the
side,
same page.
Let me finish, Mr. Pirzada. Only when the two are on the same page can there be a decisive outcome, because you cannot talk to the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan unless
it looks like that you have some
you have brought them
from the
you have brought
right?
you have
That's absolutely true, Mr. Pirzada. Why is the reluctance so strong to take on the terrorists, all of them, without trying to find good terrorists and bad terrorists? Why not take them all up, and why not bring them to their knees, Mr. Pirzada?
That part of the question.
Yes, please do, sir.
Address that part of the question. Okay, here is the two-line answer. There is a total unanimity of view between the armed forces and the government in Pakistan. The political government is making decisions. The army is very effectively following it. There is an operation going on in North Waziristan, but at the same time, we have divided the Taliban into two. Those who are willing to talk to us, not that we are willing to talk to them, and those who are not willing to talk, they are facing the military option. It is going on, and let me.
But even the people that you are trying to talk to is not working out, sir. They are attacking you as well. This is very, very selective. Until the time Pakistan plays with this Frankenstein monster, there will be trouble. General Mehta wants to respond to what you are saying.
This is Tariq, Mr. Pirzada, this is not true. This is absolutely not true.
Everything is true.
The army,
but you are saying,
listen to me.
Putting words in our mouth.
Please listen to me.
No. Hold on a second. You gotta listen to me first. You gotta listen to me first, and then I'll listen to you. Give me 30 seconds.
Go ahead. I'll listen to you.
No. And I respect you. Very quickly, one thing. There is one thing that we are doing in Pakistan. We are focusing on eliminating terror imposed in a war by the United States of America on us. If this were the case with you, you would have been divided into 20 countries by now. We are a very strong nation. We have withstood the pressure, but we will fight against the
Mr.
terrorists.
Pirzada, what rubbish are you talking? We have contained all the insurgencies throughout the country, including Kashmir.
You remember Jaswant Singh when he went to negotiate with the terrorists in Afghanistan?
You don't even have a counter-insurgency doctrine. You don't have a counter-insurgency plan.
You've been dealing with the terrorists in the past. That's your history.
तारिक पीरजादा साहब अपनी फौज के साथ बात कीजिए और उनसे पूछिए what they want to do.
Your government.
Okay, I want to go across to Jaidev Ranade. Mr. Ranade, do you think that the Pakistani army, if it is given the sanction by Nawaz Sharif to launch an all-out operation against all Taliban, good Taliban, bad Taliban, all Taliban, will they be able to take down the Taliban? Because there's some people, just 1 second, turn that fader down, Mr. Ranade, there's some people who are concerned that because of heavy deployment along the India border, the Pakistani army may not be able to vanquish the Taliban. Do you believe if Nawaz Sharif were to give the green signal to the Pakistani army, an all-out operation can be launched and completed against all Taliban? Good Taliban, bad Taliban, don't try and distinguish between the two, just take down the Taliban. I want to hear from Mr. Ranade.
You are putting words in my mouth. I am not saying that.
I am not saying that you are saying that. I am asking Mr. Ranade to make his comments. Mr. Ranade, please go ahead.
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Firstly, I think the credibility of the army and the civilian government in Pakistan has been damaged by the present incident at the airport, much as it was damaged when the Osama bin Laden incident happened. So I think they have to get their act together. Secondly, the good Taliban and the bad Taliban is a figment that has been created by the Pakistanis as well as now by the Americans, and that in itself indicates that they are unwilling to really take on the Taliban, but rather they want to buy peace with the Taliban. So that's my short answer. I don't think that they are going to really move against them. And as far as the Jamaat-ud-Dawa is concerned, I think it's a well-known fact that the Nawaz Sharif and his brother are also funding them to some extent.
Imran Khan, when he was asked about the army's capability to launch the operation and secure success, they said 40% chances of success if an army launches the operation. The army does not have a proper counter-insurgency doctrine. The army is trained to fight India.
You had
the
a
army
proper
is
counter-insurgency
trained to fight a conventional war. If it did have the capacity, then they would have been able to get control.
You and your country and your nuclear power.
The fact that they have not been able to do this proves clearly.
Okay, I have final questions for Sadia Khan. Ma'am, at a time when Karachi has exposed the limitations of Pakistan's national security and just shown how vulnerable even the most high-value targets are, how much time before reality dawns that you can't distinguish between good Taliban and bad Taliban? All of them are terrorists and all of them need to be brought down. Will we see Nawaz Sharif be given a free hand by his will we see Nawaz Sharif give the Pakistani army a free hand, ma'am?
This term of good and bad Taliban I just heard from you. Before this I never heard this in Pakistan on media and newspapers, anywhere else, even on social media, which is used by youth and other political leaders in Pakistan. This term is totally, I think, invented by you people. This is the first time for me I'm listening this. Second thing is, we have completed our operation on Karachi airport within 5 hours. We have called army, rangers, everybody was fighting there on that time of insurgency. All the nation was together, mothers were waiting for their sons outside airport. All the nation was together. They were like a strength in Pakistan. How can you say that we can't handle such things? We have
I have time only for one final question to Tariq Pirzada. You're saying 5 hours is all it took to bring the situation under control, Mr. Pirzada. If Nawaz Sharif were to give a free hand to the Pakistani army, do you think the Pakistani army has the wherewithal to bring down all Taliban, or do you think this Frankenstein monster has grown so big that even if the army now tried, you still wouldn't be able to vanquish them? Final answer, sir, very quickly.
Okay, the answer is that Nawaz Sharif is running the show. A, B, the armed forces are fully assisting him in enforcing the law and order situation, helping the law and order situation in Pakistan, and your attempt to malign Pakistan as an incompetent state fails because you took 72 hours to take care of the Bombay tragedy. We took care of that in 5 hours, as Sadia said.
Okay.
One small point.
Very quickly, I'm out of time, General Mehta, completely.
One serious problem now that emanates, every airport, Mehran Air Base, Karachi Air Base, Rawalpindi Air Base,
yes,
they have all been penetrated. The nuclear facilities have been penetrated. The serious question in Pakistan,
by this time,
the serious
question,
okay, I'm out of time.
Question in Pakistan is the level of penetration.
That's a nightmare scenario for Pakistan's nuclear weapon arsenal to fall in wrong hands. The airports are being penetrated, ammunition dumps are being penetrated. Let's hope reality dawns before it's too late. For the time being, Jaidev Ranade, Tariq Pirzada, Sadia Khan and General Ashok Mehta for joining us on the center stage face-off tonight. Thank you very much. News and updates continue on the other side. We look forward to seeing you at 9:30 p.m. tomorrow evening.